Hello everyone, this is Madhavi Karamodi, Assistant Professor in CSC Department. So in this lecture, I'll talk about JavaScript. First, we will see the history of the JavaScript. After that, we'll see what are the main important feature of JavaScript and application areas of JavaScript. Then we'll see how to write a JavaScript program inside the HTML page with example. Then we will see some of the basic building blocks of the JavaScript. First, see the history of the JavaScript. This JavaScript is one of the most popular language for creating World Wide Web. So along with HTML, CSS, and we will use JavaScript for creating the web pages. And initially, this JavaScript was officially came into the market in the year 1995, and this was created by the Netscape people. Initially, whenever it was released, that time it was called as LiveScript, but after some years, they have renamed it as JavaScript. And this is one of the most important client-side programming language for creating any websites. And for running this JavaScript programs, no need to install any special softwares. Almost all the browsers like Google Chrome, Internet Explorer, Mozilla Firefox, and all those browsers itself has dedicated a JavaScript engine to execute the JavaScript programs. And it is an open and cross-platform language. So here for running these JavaScript programs, no need to install any special software. And once you create a JavaScript program on one platform that can run, we can run that Java program on any platforms in any OS. So now coming to the features of JavaScript. This JavaScript language is very easy to implement because it is integrated with HTML language. So always we will write in this JavaScript code inside the HTML page. So this JavaScript is lightweight and object-based programming language. Unlike C, C++ and Java languages, this language doesn't have that much strict rules for writing the program. And it also supports some of the object-oriented concepts like inheritance and classes. That is the reason why completely we are not calling it as this object-oriented language, but it will be called as object-based programming language. And the main important feature of this JavaScript language is by using this JavaScript language, we can add dynamic nature to the web pages. If you use simple HTML and CSS, we can just create a static web pages. But if you want to make that website as more interactive, and if you want to add dynamic nature to your web pages, then we need to use JavaScript to your HTML code. And this JavaScript language supports multiple APIs for working with text fields, dates, regular expressions, and standard data structures, and for an API for document object model also. And this language is used by the many of the websites for scripting purpose for creating their web pages. And if you see few more features, almost all the web browsers supports this JavaScript language. Every browser contains its own built-in execution environment for running the JavaScript. So, and compared to other programming languages, the syntax and structure of the JavaScript is a little bit easy. It is just similar to C programming language. And this JavaScript is weakly typed language, where certain types are implicitly cast one type to another type. So why we are calling this JavaScript language as a weakly typed language is, so while declaring the variables in JavaScript, no need to specify any data type before that. So whatever value you are assigning for that variable, depending upon that, automatically the JavaScript engine or the JavaScript assigns the particular type to the variable. That is the reason why this JavaScript is called as weakly typed language. And it is object-based programming language. Like other object-oriented programming languages, your JavaScript also supports the concept of classes and inheritance concepts. And your JavaScript language is a case-sensitive language. And JavaScript language supports almost all the operating systems, and it will run on almost all the operating systems, including Windows, Linux, and Mac OS also. And it provides good control to the user over the web browsers. And if you see the applications of the JavaScript, where we will use this JavaScript language, and we can create this or use this JavaScript language mainly for creating web pages. And inside the website, to create dynamic web pages or to create dynamic website, we'll use JavaScript. And other than adding dynamic nature to the web pages, we can also use this JavaScript language for client-side validations. So most of the people will think that this JavaScript is only used only at the browser side for doing client-side validations. But nowadays, we have various flavors of the JavaScript language. By using those flavors, we can also work with the server side, and we can also do the validations at the server side by using JavaScript. But for that purpose, for doing validation at the server side, we use Node.js framework. Similarly, we can use this JavaScript language for creating web servers also. And we can also create some gaming applications by using JavaScript. And we can also create some apps for the smartwatches. But for that, we have to use Pebble.js framework. And we can create some mobile applications using JavaScript. And by using JavaScript language, we can also create a pop-up windows like dialog boxes, like alert box, confirmation box, and prompt dialog box. These are all the application areas of JavaScript. Now coming to coding part. So first important thing is we need to know how to write the JavaScript program. Or before writing the JavaScript program, first of all, we need to know where to place JavaScript code in the HTML page. Okay, so here in the HTML page, we can insert JavaScript code using script tags. Why we need to insert JavaScript by using script inside the script tags is here your browsers can understand only HTML language. For your JavaScript will runs inside the HTML page. So that is the reason why we need to write JavaScript code by using tags only. Then only your browser can understand your JavaScript. So on these script tags, we can place in the HTML either in the body section or in the head section of the HTML page. Or if you want to place the script tag in both the places, head as well as body parts, you can place it. And here there is no restriction like only these many number of scripting tags we need to place inside the JavaScript file or a HTML file. You can write any number of script tags inside the HTML page. And one other than this head section and the body section, we can also place JavaScript code separately from the HTML page. Okay, when we need to go for this kind of representation is, suppose just assume that in your web page, in your websites, multiple pages requires same or multiple web pages uses same JavaScript code. So in that case, instead of writing same JavaScript code in all the pages, if you can write that script code separately from all those web pages, then wherever you want, you can directly access that JavaScript code. So for achieving that kind of feature, we can, in JavaScript, we have the concept called as external files. So you can, if you can write the JavaScript code separately from the HTML file, in that case, that file we need to save with .js extension. Suppose if you want to use that JavaScript file in your HTML page, again that can be accessed by using script tag in the HTML page. So inside the script tag, by using src attribute, we can access that external JavaScript file in your HTML page. So if you see an example program on JavaScript, so here I am writing this JavaScript code inside the HTML page, HTML body part. Inside the body section, I am writing the script tag. So this is just for displaying a message like welcome to JavaScript using heading tag. So this red color portion indicates the JavaScript code. Just now I told you always the JavaScript code is written inside the script tag. Otherwise your JavaScript code will not be recognized by the browser. Okay, so here in this JavaScript, I am just printing one message like welcome to JavaScript online classes. So here in JavaScript, just like our C-based languages, we have one method for printing the content on the browser window. That is a write method. So just like a Java language, your JavaScript language, in JavaScript language also, all the methods are invoked by using the object of that particular class. Okay, because your JavaScript is also a object-based programming language. That is the reason why every method will be invoked by using object of that particular class. So wherever this method is available, that class, with that class object, we need to invoke the method. So here this write method belongs to the document object. That is the reason why we are calling this write method using document object. Then close the script tag, close the body tag, finally close the HTML. Just see the execution process for this program. Just now I told you, if you want to execute HTML page, JavaScript code, no need to use any special software. If you have browser in your system, then that is well and good for running your JavaScript. Okay, so once the JavaScript program is over, just save this file with .html extension. Okay, so now see, here I have saved my JavaScript page file in on desktop with 1.html. Now for running that JavaScript, just double click on that. Here it is displaying the message. Okay, so this is one of the example program. Now see, if you see this JavaScript script tag, this script tag specifies the JavaScript code. And inside the script tag, we are printing some message using write method. This write method belongs to the document object. So just now I have shown one program. So in that program, I have printed one message like some welcome to so-and-so message like that. But this program and that program is completely different. Now see how to store the JavaScript code separately from the HTML page. So in this case, what we need to do is, you just open one text pad. Okay, then write the script code or write the JavaScript code, then save that file with .js extension. Save that file with the .js extension. Then whenever you want, you just access that file using script tag in your HTML page. So this is the way to write the JavaScript code separately from the HTML file. So why we need to write this JavaScript code separately from the HTML file is, so if you can write this JavaScript code separately from the HTML page, we can reuse that code in multiple HTML pages. Okay, and one more important thing, if you are writing the JavaScript code separately from the HTML page, you have to save that file with .js extension. Okay, so whatever code you are writing inside the .js file, you just write the JavaScript code without using script tag. But for accessing that file in your HTML page, just by using script tag, inside the script tag using src attribute, you just access that file. Okay, this is the way to write a JavaScript file separately from the HTML page. Now see, here is one more important tag, that is NoScript tag. So what is the use of this NoScript tag is, suppose if your browser is not supporting JavaScript, or in browser the JavaScript plugin is not enabled, suppose if it is disabled. So in that case, your browser unable to execute your JavaScript code. So in that situation, instead of closing that program or without reporting any error, suppose if you write no script tag in your HTML page or in your JavaScript program, then automatically whatever content you have written between no script tags will be displayed on the screen. Okay, when we need to use this no script tag, suppose if your browser is not supporting JavaScript, or if you're in your browser JavaScript is disabled, then whatever content, then your script tag content will not be understandable by the browser. So in that case, whatever code you have written between no script tag will be displayed on the screen. And if you are using no script tag in your program, compulsory this no script tag you have to write after the script tag only. If you write the script no script tag before the script tag, definitely your browser will print the content of no script tag only. Okay, so always your no script tag should be after the script tag. Okay, so now see the programming concepts of the JavaScript. First of all, in any programming language, if you want to give some description about your program, then definitely we need to make use of some comment lines. So just like a C-based programming languages like C, C++, and Java, here also your JavaScript language also uses same comment symbols. For commenting single line, we'll use 2 forward slashes. And if you want to comment multiple lines, we'll use slash, star, and star slash symbols. Okay. Now coming to the basic building blocks of JavaScript language, the most important concept and a concept of any programming language is variables, because without variables we cannot store the content inside the we cannot store the data. Without data we cannot process anything. So that is the reason why for any programming language variable is a basic building block. Now see how to declare the variable in JavaScript. So this is very interesting one compared to other programming languages. In JavaScript, the variables will be declared with the keyword var. Unlike C-based languages, in JavaScript, the variables will be declared with the keyword var. So here no need to use any data type before the variable. If you see the syntax, keyword var, then followed by name of the variable. Suppose if you want to assign some value to this variable, then var, name of the variable, assignment operator, then whatever value you want to assign, you just write that value. And like other programming languages, in your JavaScript also, each and every statement ends with the semicolon only. And while writing the variables or while writing the identifiers like function names or array names, we need to remember few rules. So almost these rules are common in other C-based languages also. So see those rules. So if you are taking any variable or if you are writing any variable, compulsory the name of the variable contains either letters or digits or underscore sign. Or you can also use dollar sign. But other than these symbols, you should not use any other special characters for declaring the or for writing or choosing the variable name. And always the names of the variables begins with a letter or dollar sign or underscore sign. Other than these symbols, you should not start. You should not use any other symbols for writing the variable name. And your variable name should not start with the numbers. And one more interesting thing is always the names of the variables are case sensitive. So always the lowercase letters and uppercase letters are different. And you should not use JavaScript reserved words as a variable names. And you should not use reserved names, reserved words or keywords of a JavaScript as a function names also. Okay, and JavaScript identifiers are strictly case sensitive. Not only variables, the name of the functions, name of the class, and name of the arrays are also strictly case sensitive. And just see how to declare the variable in JavaScript. So always the variable is declared with the keyword var, followed by name of the variable. And if you want to assign any value, you just assign it by using assignment operator. Okay. So in single statement, you can write multiple variable declarations also. This is the correct way to write the variable declarations in JavaScript. Now coming to the incorrect way. Suppose if you are here, you are taking the variable name as numbers. So this is ultimately a wrong one. And your variable name should not start with any special symbol other than underscore and dollar. So these two are incorrect ways of using JavaScript variables. Okay. And just like other programming languages, here also the variables can be divided into two categories, local variable as well as global variable. Suppose if you declare a variable inside the block or inside any function, then automatically that variable will be considered as local variable, and that variable can be accessed only within that function or within that block only. And second category is global variable. If you declare any variable before the function or outside the block, then automatically that variable will be considered as a global variable. If the variable is a global variable, you can access that variable anywhere in the program. Okay. Now consider the scopes of the variable. Just like other programming languages, here also JavaScript variables are having some scope, like global scope as well as local scope. So any variables declared outside a function belongs to the global scope, and you can use those variables anywhere in your code. Similarly, if you declare any variables inside the function, then it belongs to the local scope or function scope, and those variables you can access only inside the code. And one more important point you have to remember here for scopes of the variable is always all the variables you have to declare with the keyword var. Suppose if you declare any variable inside the function without var keyword, then by default those variables will be considered as global. If you declare any variable inside the function with keyword, then those variables are called as local variables. But inside the function without var keyword, then by default those variables will be considered as global. So these are the few things about basics of the programming languages. In now see one example on local and global scope. See here I am writing this script inside the body section, and inside the script I am taking one variable called as name, and for this variable I am assigning the value John. And here I am taking one function. Okay, so in coming classes we will discuss about the function. Just try to understand how to try to understand the scopes of the variable here. Okay, in coming classes, in next lecture I'll explain the concept of functions. So in JavaScript, always the function starts with the keyword function followed by name of the function. So inside this function, I am assigning value Bob to the variable name. Okay, and here I am writing one more function for displaying the name of the variable. So here I am displaying that name inside the alert box. So in coming classes, I'll explain about alert dialog box also. Okay. So here, if you want to execute all these functions, compulsory we need to invoke that function by making a call. So here I am calling the function modify username function outside the, after that function definitions, here I am calling the username, modify username function, and here I am calling the show username function. Before calling these two functions, I just want to print the name here again after the functions using alert message. Now see, here I am assigning the variable name with John, That means before the function I am declaring this variable, so this variable will be considered as global variable. So inside the function, for this variable I am assigning the value as Bob. So automatically that variable becomes local here. And here again, after the functions I am trying to print the value of name. At this moment it will print the value that is assigned outside the function. So this statement will print the value John onto the screen. After this statement, I am trying to call the method modify username method or modify name method. So here automatically the control comes to this function. And inside this function here I am assigning the Bob value now. Now here I am calling the show username function. Here just show username function. So whenever I call the show username function, it will print the name that is assigned for the name. So in this case, it will assign the value. It will print the value called as Bob. Okay. So this is about a small program for understanding local and global scope. Here, this variable is having global scope and this variable is having local scope. You can use same name inside the function as well as outside the function also. Okay, that is also valid in JavaScript. This is a simple program for understanding local scope and global scope. In coming classes, we'll see some more examples. Okay, so with this, I'm closing the session. So thank you one and all. In next session, we'll discuss some more concepts of